Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar hosted by KCP Network. Today, we're going to be talking about the future of smart energy innovations for hotels. We do have a Q&A facility available, so if you want to ask any questions during the webinar, please feel free to do so there. We expect the webinar to last approximately 30 to 45 minutes, and we obviously do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. We also have a feedback form which we will share with you shortly, and there you'll be able to fill out how you experienced the webinar and any feedback that you have for future webinars coming up. So joining us today, we've got Craig Pavlin, who's the CEO and co-founder at KCP Network. We're joined by Amin Zungi, General Manager at Radisson Blu, joining us from the lovely French town of Nice. And we also have Christian Leonte, Design and Development Director at KCP Network. So at this point, I'd like to hand you over to Craig to introduce himself, KCP Network, and start the conversation around what the future of smart energy innovation for hotels looks like. So over to you, Craig.
Hi all, thank you everyone for the very pleasant introduction. I just really want to open this up into more of what, where, and why, really, and I think that is the key thing of why we are here today, and the way that we're going to describe and what I'm going to share with you how we've got to where we are as a business. We realised some time ago that there was definitely a market for helping to save those specific buzzwords: sustainability, reduce the energy, reduce the cost, and everything else. And we knew that there was many ways of doing it, but we had to come up with something as a business to be able to do something simply, effectively, but also cost effectively in terms of installation, and something that would be easy to install. And that was the primary functions of how we went away to build what we've built today. We always had in our mind that energy would only grow and the costs would get bigger and bigger, and that how could we help? You know, at the end of the day, we all have family, children, things like that, and everything else. And one of the common features that we have in our household is that we leave lights on. It's just a natural thing that we do. You know, we don't mean to do it, but unfortunately we do it. And that is part and parcel of, I think, what brought us to where we are, is the way that we could effectively automate a system, a platform, to be able to switch off, turn off, shut down, things that we just take for granted that we leave on. And that's where I think this was born out of. 5-6 years ago, we decided that we'd come up with a platform that allow us to do that, to simplify it and to help us really reduce the cost in the energy. Because over the last 3, 4, 5 years, I think energy's gone up by 3-4 times what it is today. So we've seen a significant increase in that, and that is now, you know, and I know from expertise is that now it's the second biggest cost in our environment after staffing. So that's kind of where we are as a business. We decided that because of our involvement in hospitality, we thought that was the right and ideal place to start. It's a very challenging environment. It's tough, it's very demanding, but it can be very rewarding. And I think that's why we set off in this. But we've needed some great partners and some great people to work with, because at the end of the day, we're only as successful of where we are today because we've had opportunities to work with some great people and be able to put this on the map because we've got their feedback. And I think a lot of our experience and knowledge has come from actually being on there, having a live site to work with. This is not information and data that we've forecasted or generated. This is actual data taken from live hotels, and obviously now it's growing and bigger and bigger and bigger, so we have a lot more data. So a lot of what we share today is actually true experience of what we've gathered and information and data from that environment, and therefore it helps us be more accurate and ensuring that you get the right steps in this and understand how we are, where we're going, and what we're doing it for. But yeah, certainly it's a product that will help on the sustainability, certainly a product that will help reduce the energy. We're seeing it now. We're seeing it on average now in hospitality in the data that we've collected so far, anything between 35 to 70%. And on average, it's around about 38, 39% of energy saved per room. So that gives some idea of where it is. We will expand this program. We will certainly develop it more. We're going to add, very near future, the BMS, the building management system, to help produce more energy efficiency, because we're only in control of what's in that room or what's in that hotel room. We're not in control of the entire network and system. So we're going to expand it, because we know that we can really help and make sure that we produce even bigger savings than what we are today. But we had to start somewhere. We thought the room and hospitality, the bedroom, was the right place to start. It's something that we can control, support, and also that it could be done through a cloud-based platform and over wireless. And this means that we've no additional cabling to do. We can use the same infrastructure that's there. We don't have to change the light switches. We don't have to change the sockets. We've just tried to make it as simple as we possibly can. So hopefully that gives you some idea of where we're going, what we're doing, and why we're doing it for.
Super. Thank you very much, Craig. So I've got one question just straight off the bat, if that's okay. So when we look at kind of where hotels have been in the last kind of 2 decades and where we're going into the next 2 decades, where do you think the most measurable environmental impacts can be seen for hotels specifically? So is it, like you said, within the bedroom, or is it the lobbies? Where do you see the biggest potential impact in terms of energy saving?
I definitely believe that it's definitely in general the whole hotel. It's not just one specific area. We've just taken the bedroom as an example, where we know through habit of the clients, where they leave the lights on. We sometimes know there is, we know there's we call it the key card switch, but that always doesn't turn off everything. So my general feeling, this is where it's going is we've taken probably a proportion of that hotel, but I know that the market will be an entirety, is to help in the public areas, help in the back office, help what we're doing in the bedrooms. I think it's just a general overview of the entire hotel, but we have to move through in stages to be able to maximize what it is. And I think what we're saying is, if we work down the route, and that's why I mentioned the BMS, if we work down the route of going down the building management, we can attack a huge quantity of energy and sustainability with that, because you're talking about chillers, you're talking about airflow systems, you're talking about things which at the moment are manual, some are automatic, some don't talk to one another. So there's a lot of good things in that we can automate and make it even better than what they've currently got today. So I think it's a general thing, but it's the big drive on genuinely saving energy throughout the entire hotel in everywhere we can. And I think our platform system has that capabilities to do that, and we see it from whatever we do and whatever we bring into the platform. We're able to do that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Craig. Really appreciate that, and thank you for giving us a background about KCP Network as well, for those of you that don't know about them. So at this point, I'd like to introduce Amin, and we can start to go through some Q&A with yourself, and we really appreciate you taking the time to be here. So could you give us, first of all, just a little bit of background into your experience in the hotel and hospitality industry, and give a short introduction of yourself and how you came to know KCP Network, please?
Yeah. Well, hello everybody from sunny Nice. And thanks, Craig, for putting your introduction the way how you did, which has lots of reality of the current reality and where we are going to the future. So, hello everyone. My name is Amin Zongi. I've been working in the hotel and hospitality industry for over 15 years now, and mainly as a general manager across multiple countries and multiple marketplaces. Through my career, I always focus on operational excellence, guest experience, but as well how we can move forward into innovations and trying to find solutions to improve productivity of the hotel staff, but at the same time to drive results. And when I say results, if payroll is energy, which is the biggest costs on the P&L of any general manager. In regards of KCP, so I worked with KCP in my time in Edinburgh. However, I knew them where we cooperate together. but we worked more closely together on a very big transformation for Novotel London Excel, where I was managing there. And our main goal is to move with other partners and with Accor to move the whole hotel to fully cloud. And with KCP, we implemented the smart room and many other technologies where we got really significant results. If I'm not mistaken, we are talking about 20% with all the actions that we've done. We are talking about 20% of energy reduction, 24 versus 23. But however, as well, we were driving customer experience to a new level by implementing the online check-in via a system without an app, so the guest doesn't need to put an app. So all this is mainly driving productivity for the staff, energy efficiency, and sustainable development.
Thank you. I mean, appreciate the introduction there, and you certainly have got some really good experience and projects under your belt. So it's always interesting to learn about those. In terms of what you feel as, boots on the ground in the hotels day in, day out, what are your biggest challenges that you're currently facing in terms of managing energy costs and meeting, because obviously there are wider sustainability goals within, the group of hotels. What are the biggest current challenges that you're currently facing in that regard?
If I would say, well, there is multiple challenges, and it can, I think you would see the challenge different from a marketplace to another, from a hotel to another. But there is in one word, if you ask me this question, I would say the infrastructure, because today most of our business's infrastructure is still in an old IT model with old servers, whether we are talking about servers, BMS, PBX, door locks, reporting system. We have multiple platforms, if you would like to see the lifts and the interfaces. And today, this is the main problem that we are having, knowing that many hotels start now to look at their infrastructures, because when you look at the future, you look at the cloud future. When you look at the social environment today, you are looking at the generation who are digital native. We are not anymore on the digital transformation. They are digital native. So hotels in the future should everybody look at their IT infrastructure.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And in terms of what trends you see shaping the future, so obviously we talked about the challenges that you're currently facing and have been facing, but looking forward, what trends do you see shaping the future of smart energy in the hospitality industry?
I've just mentioned the generation because we should stop on this. The social perspective that we are having today is the evolution of the generations from millennials to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And when we understand our future guests, our future talents, our future partners, we will just understand how we are heading in hospitality. And we are heading into hospitality to a generation or people who are very knowledgeable generation about green economy, about green hospitality, and sustainable development for them is not a choice. It's just a fact that they would like to see in each hotel and in their guest journey. They're gonna choose their hotels according to the sustainability and according to the sustainable or environmental actions that exist in the hotels. And when we talk about digital native now, while everybody is using artificial intelligence partially or not in their life now, in the next 10 years, artificial intelligence will be part of the journey as well, part of to optimize the productivity of any business. So smart energy is becoming more an objective rather than it's a solution. So today it's a solution for us. I think it should be an objective.
Thank you. I appreciate the insight there. So moving on from that, how do you find what you implemented? You talked about some past projects that you worked on. How do you find that the ones that you implemented balanced energy efficiency kind of without letting go of enhancing guest comfort, I guess, because some people may see it as an either or situation. And then just to add on top of that, was the implementation when you did the projects, was it disruptive to guest comfort or operations?
Well, we implemented multiple actions in Novotel Excel, from going to fully cloud to enhance energy efficiency. We implemented with KCP the sensors in the room. So we call it smart room. It's not because of digitalization, it's because it's smart to look at the environment. It's environmental friendly rooms, and that's because of those sensors. So looking at the disruption on the guest, we kept from the guest experience, we kept it hybrid. So today you can use your phone to be fully digital, but at the same time you can still use the room exactly as it was before. So those sensors, they will detect the movements. They will have an algorithm, and I think Christian is the best who gonna speak about the details. But from a management perspective and from a leadership perspective, I would say if an average guest is out 8 hours outside the hotels, we are looking at a saving of 35% of energy on the room. And here it will turn down the AC or the air handling unit, the lights, and that will be an opportunity to save a lot of energy. Now, there is another options as well, which is the new GRMS, which is the guest room management system, combined with a smart socket, combined with the OHIP integration, which is the Oracle Hospitality Interface. This is a huge opportunity where you can manage your minibar and manage your TV, knowing that there's a study when the TV is on a standby, it's still consuming lots of energy. And our hotels run with low season and mid season. And when you have 20, 30, 40, 50 rooms running for 1 month or 2 months empty, you can imagine the level of energy you are spending without using those rooms. So these solutions can be solved with the smart socket and the GRMS. In terms of disruption, not a lot, because this could be done on a gradual, could be done room by room on a gradual aspects. And honestly, we did not have delays from or impact from this actions. We did not have any problems.
Super. I appreciate the honesty there. So just remember, everyone, if you have any Q&A questions, just pop them in the Q&A, and we can ask Amin or Christian or Craig any of those questions. But Amin, thank you so much. I do have a couple of questions for Craig, and Christian, you may want to add your thoughts on it as well. But Craig, in terms of Conqora Smart Energy. So we heard about the real life experience from Amin and some of the projects he worked on. So how does Conqora Smart Energy's automated energy management system help hotels achieve significant cost savings?
I think just a little add to what Amin was talking about there is because we've developed it a little bit more into GRMS, and therefore we're able to now control a lot more than where we began with, and I think that will have a huge impact. Like quite rightly said, that we can control the TV now, we can control the minibar, the fan coil unit, the bedside lamp. It just goes on, and I think having multiple 4 or 5 different circuits in a room, lamps, table lamps, you name it, we can control all that, as now a significant higher impact than when we started this journey. So, there's a lot more available, and I think having more available and more things you can control, you don't just leave on, I think will also impact the cost and the energy saving. And ultimately, it boils down to that, carbon footprint. We are hugely reducing the carbon footprint, which is what we want to do, and that is sustainability.
Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. So, in terms of the actual technology, I think some people find this topic really interesting in terms of, diving into the actual nuts and bolts of it, so to speak. And Christian may be able to elaborate on this as well. But what cutting edge technologies are integrated into Conqora Smart Energy solutions? And I guess that includes maybe Conqora Suite, if you want to touch on that as well.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well? Yeah. I know that it wasn't part of the of this webinar as scheduled, but if you would allow me, I would share my screen for a minute, because I would like to add some visuals to the discussion, because this, in a normal case, would draw the attention more and would make people be a little bit more interested and better understand what we're speaking at the moment. So if you would allow me, I'm just going to share the screen. Just confirm when everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Amin and Craig, they were speaking earlier about the guest room management system, which is a product that we've been working within our company for the last 7 years. And at this point, if you'd allow me, I would get a little bit more into the technical aspect of the project, so that probably there'll be a better understanding of not only just knowing the fact that we are saving energy, but how do we do it and what technology are we using in the back of it. We know that it helps. We're speaking about the latest technology, which is today it's very easy to deploy with no interruption. As Amin was saying, it's true. We don't need to disturb the existing infrastructure in the bedroom, because we were just separating all the circuits and all the electrical consumer inside the bedroom at a software level, which means that even if we have the television and the minibar, for example, installed within the same lighting circuit, we know that the standard GRMS, they are based on having separate circuits installed in the bedroom. With our system, it doesn't have to be like that, because everything is being controlled wirelessly, installing smart sockets. We know traditional GRMS. I will just present a few differences between the traditional GRMS and the technology that's being used for a very long time compared to the newly wireless GRMS system that our company is offering. In terms of installation, we already mentioned, and we know the fact that a wired GRMS, you need a complex infrastructure. You need most of the times this depends on the refurbishment of a bedroom. While with the wireless, we do not disturb anything. We just go and replace the wireless socket, so that we can control, depending on each hotel's requirements, we can individually control different system. Flexibility, again, we can start, as Amin was saying earlier, we can start from very low by having the thermostat or controlling the fan coil unit. Then at the later stage, we can add the lights. We can add also power sockets. And even with the power sockets, we can also add first the minibar or the television, depending on each hotel requirements and the budget. Reliability, it's highly reliable. It's very easy to maintain. You don't, in case something fails, it doesn't happen. The study showed us that it's very rarely where our system fails, but in case something happens, compared to the old GRMS systems, where if the room control unit fails, you're going to have to replace it all at very high cost. With our system, the good part and the good aspect of the installation is that if one socket fails, then you just replace it one socket, and the cost of that is not high at all. Guest experience. With the wireless GRMS system and with the solutions that we're providing, we can also offer the guests the option to control the futures lighting, fan coil units, and the temperature in the bedrooms from their phones. And I will, at a later stage, I will explain, and you will see later how everything works. Now, all the systems that we install in the bedroom and in the hotel, everything is it's controlled via a web interface. Everything is cloud-based. There's no heavy servers and power consumption servers installed in the comms room. As also, mentioned before, our implementation of GRMS in Hotel Excel was part of the fully migration to cloud services, and GRMS is being part of it as other servers and firewalls in the hotel. Now, I think this is the part where most of you would be interested on finding out and what the system and technologies do we have installed and do we use in order to achieve what we're achieving in terms of the energy savings in the hotel. And by energy, we mean electrical energy, not to become mixed up or confused with thermal or other type of energy savings. We're purely speaking here about the energy savings by controlling energy consumers inside the bedrooms. As you can see within the image, everything is controlled via wireless with a meticulous planning for every single venue. What we plan to install the system, because we don't want to interfere with any existing wireless equipment. We do perform a wireless survey so that we know exactly how to install and configure our equipment so that we be in a safe, in a very safe environment from the communication point of view. The thermostats, the sockets and the sensors, including door control, everything is being controlled via our IoT gateways, which are deployed along the bedrooms. Now, once installed, hotel will have access to a platform, which is the Conqora suite, which is the platform that we have been developing, that allow us to connect and to control every single bedroom from one central location, and showing the energy consumption, showing what is the behavior of a guest inside the bedroom. We can see when the guests are inside, the guests are outside. If any consumers have been left on, we can see a timeline and triggers to see when the guest has left, if the consumers and if the actions that have been pre-established in the bedroom, if they've been executed correctly. All this information and insights, like instant consumption, they are presented within the dashboard, together with a energy consumption report, an energy savings report that's been generated at the end of the day. How does this work? Let's say with the traditional guest room management system, which was consisting of a key card, if the guests were leaving the room, if you were lucky, they will remove the card when they leave. Everything will be turned off, which is mostly the light. We could see that in most of the venues, based on our experience, the fan coil units or the air conditioning, they were never turned off. The minibar, absolutely never, continuously turned on. With our case, the difference between this and our new system is that when the room is vacant, which means that nobody's paying for the room, the minibar is being turned off. Now, I know that there will be questions regarding to this and what happens when the guest will get inside the room. So what happens is that because we are integrating with the PMS, in our case Oracle, or it could be any other vendors, PMS vendors, when a room is being assigned to any of the guests, then is when we automatically turn on the minibar, and we turn on the fan coil unit or the air conditioning system to establish an initial comfortable temperature inside the bedroom. So when the guests, they will get inside the room, they will be welcome and will received by a nice welcome scene. Now, when they leave the bedroom while the guest is being rented, the minibar will remain on because we want to keep that on. But when they check out, then all the consumers in the unit will automatically turned off, which we have seen that this was with a standard GRMS, this was not the case and it wasn't happen. And I would say that this is what helped us and just what places us in the first position compared to other GMS providers, because we integrate with Opera, and based on the integration, we can control units and electrical consumers in the rooms the way that other manufacturers probably don't do. This is a simple schematic and logical of how everything works. Once Amin was saying earlier that there's no the operations, from the operations point of view, operations team will not be affected, because in addition, it is true that the guest in the hotel, they can have access to a platform where they can monitor everything, but everything that happens inside the bedrooms, it's fully automated. The dashboard is as a secondary option that we offer the hotel to view the status of the bedrooms, and in addition to that, to check in and issue digital keys, because the system is we give the option to the hotel to have a digital key. This can be issued from our platform, but by default, this is integrated with Opera PMS, and therefore absolutely no new process will have to be introduced to the operations team in order for the system to work. Operations team, they'll just have to follow their normal activity, and in the back end, everything happens like magic. Also, as part of the GRMS, we do offer the guests an interface so that they can control, they can access to the bedrooms via the digital keys, or if not, we can only give them options. As an additional guest experience, they have the option to control the lights and the temperature while they're inside the bedroom from their phones. It's an extra feature that we give to the guests, and we found, based on experience, that it is this is an attraction point for the guests, and because this will show an increased level of service. Okay, that's how the system works, and that's how everything is being installed. If you have any questions, I think it's just the right time for me to just have a short break and just leave a table for other speakers and to present and just give you the chance to raise some questions if you have any.
Thank you, Christian. That's super insightful and always helps when we've got some slides. So thank you for that. You can stop sharing your screen. Thanks. Obviously, if there are any follow-up questions, or if you'd like a more in-depth conversation with Christian or any of the team after this, then we'd be more than welcome to make that happen. So thank you so much.
Rowan, I think there is a question on the Q&A.
Yes. So let's take a look. So we've got a question here. So how quickly are you likely to see ROI after the solution is installed into a hotel? So who would like to pick up on that first?
Happy to do it. So what we can say from data, it's really at the moment, this is on the actual data. The ROI at the moment, based on the occupancy level, there's a lot of commonality factors. The only thing that we can't control, to give you an exact accurate, is the price of the energy. But at the moment, what we can say on the hotels that we've done, the ROI is anything from 9 to 18 months, depending on the price of energy. There you go.
Yeah, just if I would like to add as well, from my side, I was looking at the energy, because in a hotel you look at the big energy, not only the rooms, so the total energy, but I used to follow it up from kilowatt per hour, because what Craig said, the fluctuation of the price will make, and the accounting, sometimes they put reversal accruals, and we don't understand from money point of view what they are doing. If we're going to follow up, what we really need to look is at what is, for example, and we need to compare like for like up to type of the guests that we're having, but what is our energy consumption per room sold this quarter? Actually, it's per quarter. It's better to look at it rather than a month after the implementation. And is there any changes of the consumption per room occupied? Then what could change or impact that KPI? If you have a big hotel with lots of mice, for example, Congress, yes, you might do lots of energy saving on the room side, but because you had Congress and your kitchen was working too much and using energy, you might not see it at this time. So there's a little bit of data analysis that you need to do, but I would really advise to look at it from kilowatt per hour.
Super, thank you. And so I know we're going quite far in terms of time at the moment, so we will take a couple more questions and then we'll bring the webinar to a close. So next question is, I know you touched on this already, Christian, so maybe worth just going over this again very quickly. But in terms of if a hotel has an old system in place, in terms of wiring and hardware, etc., really how difficult is it to get to this new system where everything's wireless and everything's cloud-based, and is it quite costly to do that?
No, and this is the beauty of the system. We are now deploying a hotel which is 50 years old, with absolutely no disruption inside the bedrooms. We do expect this is going to start very soon, and we expect an hour and a half maximum per bedroom with no disruptions. One of the questions that the hotel general manager was asking is if they would need to send housekeeping after us to clean the room, and absolutely not. It's very easy. Its integration is seamless. It's as easy as installing sensors, replacing the fan coil units, and installing power sockets. It's easy as that. It's very simple and with absolutely no disruption.
Super, thank you. So last question from the questions that we've got here in terms of the Q&A, and then we'll bring the webinar to a close. So in terms of hotel sizes, is there a minimum hotel size? Is there a maximum hotel size? Are there any kind of limits to what you can and can't do in terms of those hotels?
I can answer that one. There is none of that, none of the above, and it's quite simple. We made this system for small, medium, large, any end of the scale, so that therefore you got the flexibility to maximize what you need from our product. That was the whole concept of building this platform and building this smart energy concept. That it had the flexibility to take on small, medium, and large, and any brand. So we've got so much flexibility there. You will be easily catered for, and you will maximize what you've got in your place to your best.
Fantastic. Short and sweet. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. So I think that's all the questions we have. I can't see any more questions in the Q&A. So what I'll do is I'll thank you all for joining the webinar today. A massive thank you to Amin for joining us as a guest speaker and really bringing it to life, and to Craig and Christian as well for their valuable insight. We will follow up with you via email, but if you do have any questions, queries, or anything like that, please do reach out to us, and we will be happy to help you. We will also try and get a version of this recording over to you if you want to share it with any of your friends or colleagues. And with that, on behalf of KCP Network,
thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you all
very much.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.